Hey everybody, my name is Brandon from the stockstreams.com, and today I want to talk about Nokia stock, ticker symbol NOK. What I want to do first is I want to go into Google and talk about the news surrounding the stock, including Wall Street bets, and see how that's influencing the price action. And then I want to go into the earnings report to talk about the fundamentals of Nokia and see how it's doing as a business. And then I want to go into the trading charts to try and find a level or two to buy Nokia stock if we want to buy Nokia stock. So now let's get started. So here we are in Google, and here's a 5-day look at Nokia's chart here. And as you can see, back on January 27th here, when the Wall Street bets army really took aim at Nokia, we were up over 55% in a single day here. So obviously, like I said, that's because of the momentum really given by Wall Street bets, as some of the news articles explain down here, particularly the CBS news article. However, when we look at a 1-month view here, we see that we are actually still up nicely over 25%. And this is even before the Wall Street bets really ran over the stock market here. So really the question is, why was Nokia gaining traction even before Wall Street bets put a spotlight on the name? Well, if we look down here again at the news, we start to see articles that really talk about 5G. 5G is a central part of Nokia's bull thesis at the moment, highlighted by this Barron's article and this MicroWatch article here. We will see that they talk about Ericsson's earnings report, which you'll see on your screen now. Ericsson is another telecom company that doesn't have as much name recognition as Nokia. But basically, what this story is talking about is that because Ericsson showed great growth in their 5G ambitions, people are now thinking that their positives will carry over to Nokia. Because 5G is new to everyone, Nokia is now at a more level playing field relative to where Nokia was playing just a few years ago. Many people know Nokia for their handheld phones, but really their business is telecom equipment. So, just quickly so that we all understand what Nokia's business actually is, what really is telecoms equipment? So, here's a look at the explanation of how telecoms work. So basically, when you make a call from your cell phone here, that call then goes to a cell tower, which is basically an antenna. Then that antenna talks to a little box, which talks to many other boxes, which routes your call to an antenna that's closer to the person that you want to call, which, in my case is normally my mommy. And then the antenna completes the call to my mom's phone. Nokia is in the business of making these boxes here. And because we are trying to get the whole world to 5G now, many people are guessing that Nokia will be able to acquire market share and grow their business. So now that we have an idea that Nokia was growing even before Wall Street bets was in the picture, now let's look at the earnings report to see if Nokia is doing good as a business and to see if this is a good investable company. So here we are in Nokia's most recent earnings report, and what you're looking at is just a summary of the statement of operations. As you can see here, this is the most recent quarter ending on September 30th, 2020, which is this column here, and this is compared to a year-over-year view with quarter 3 from 2019. As always, let's start off with the first line here, which happens to be net sales. And as you can see here, we are actually dropping net sales year over year. So we are dropping this number by about 7%. And normally that's quite a bearish sign. However, that's actually not the main point I want to make in this part of the video. The main part is that even though we are dropping some net sales here, which the company does explain is because of the ongoing health crisis here, we are actually increasing the operating margin year over year. So the operating margin is this line on the earnings report here. And we can see that year over year, we are increasing the operating margins by 2 absolute percentage points, or 200 basis points. And that's actually a very surprising increase. This is showing that Nokia is improving efficiencies in the business, which is actually exactly what I want to see from a company that is as mature as Nokia. To me, even though Nokia still has some qualitative problems, it does appear that Nokia could be setting up as an interesting long-term investment. So now that I've talked about Nokia's growing operating margins, now I want to talk a little bit about what everybody else is talking about nowadays, which is Wall Street bets. Now, I mentioned this before in the early part of the video, and of course, this is the reason why we are talking about Nokia today. but the impact of Wall Street Bets has is important to understand if you are planning to invest in Nokia for the long term. And if you are looking at the earnings report, then you are likely a long-term investor for Nokia. The momentum that Wall Street Bets has given Nokia is definitely a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. Because of Wall Street Bets, we now have the name recognition for Nokia. So in like the first time in probably many years, Nokia has finally been on the mind of investors, which could attract more investors into the name. However, if you are thinking about investing in Nokia for the long term, you have to keep in mind what kind of investors are now interested in Nokia. A lot of the people on Wall Street Bets are short-term traders. Now, that's definitely not a bad thing at all. However, if you are a long-term investor, then those investing goals don't really match. Because of that, if you are long Nokia, you just have to keep in mind that there could be volatility swings that you may not have expected if you invested a long time ago in Nokia. So now that we've gone over just the bare bones of Nokia's fundamentals, let's head on over to the trading charts to see if there's a level or two to buy Nokia stock if we want to buy Nokia stock. So here we are in Nokia's trading charts here, and as you can see, Nokia had a nice burst of energy with the whole Reddit and Wall Street Bets movement where we climbed over 50%, but since then we've been kind of flattening out here. So if you are a long-term investor, this is actually not bad. If you believe in Nokia for the long term, then a steady price like this allows you to slowly step into Nokia gradually. This is opposed to if you want to be long Nokia stock, but the stock is on the train ride upwards. If that was the case, then you would have to make your decisions much faster. For me, I think I make my decisions best when I have some time to think about it. So this flattening out kind of gives me more time to think if I want to get into Nokia stock, and if I do, how much I want to be in Nokia stock. So as always here, let's try to find some support and resistance levels for the stock. The first support level I see is this 450 to 460 range, made by these two candles and these two candles over here. This is the first place where I would want to step in if I wanted to step into Nokia. But if we break this support level, we could fall back down to where we broke out of, which is around this 415 level here. So now looking at resistance levels, I see a resistance level from around this $5 to $5.10 mark, made by these two candles here, as well as this one up here. Now, I want to talk about trading volumes for a second, which is something I don't normally talk about. However, in this case, because we are seeing some restricted trading from some certain apps, I'm looking at you, Robinhood, looking at a volume is actually a little important here. So as we can see here, we had nice volume on the day where we did not have restricted trading. However, I believe this day was when restricted trading began. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but as you can see here, the trading volume decreased dramatically day after day after day. This is likely due in part to the limited trading. Because of this, we may be holding back buyers, so we may be able to push Nokia stock a little higher if there wasn't any restrictions. So this is just something to keep in mind. If we see a relaxing of restrictions in the next few days, we could see the Wall Street Bet stock take off again. But there is also a risk that, even if the restrictions go away, we don't see that pop in the Wall Street Bet stock. So that's just a risk that you have to keep in mind. Just to cover the MACD and RSI here, both are indicators of momentum that measures moving averages. And unsurprisingly, the MACD is showing a nice positive momentum here, as our MACD line, which is our blue line here, is nicely positive over our signal line, which is this orange line here. Another way to say that is that our short-term momentum, which is the blue line here, is stronger than our long-term momentum, which is this orange line here. So because of that, that could mean that Nokia could go a little higher because it has strong short-term momentum to push the stock upwards. The RSI here, which is the relative strength index, is also showing that it is neither overbought nor oversold, which actually means we don't really have a bearish sign at the moment. So that was my review on Nokia stock. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. If you have any questions or if you caught any mistakes, also drop me a comment down below. If you liked the video, please like the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.